beautiful film. It's called Darbaan. I highly advocate all of you go and watch it. It's streaming on ZEE5 Premium, and it has not just some incredible performances. I'm so proud to say my friend Bobo's done a great job on the soundtrack and some very nuanced writing and direction from Bipin Nadkarni, who incidentally has never been on my show before. Hi, how are you, Bipin? Good to see you.
Hi, Hrishi.
And excellent job. My
Thank
first
you.
question is to you. When you read this story by Tagore, did you think it's fit for adaptation? And why would you base it in the coal mines of Bihar? Do you or your co-writer have a background in Bihar? So it's actually a two-part question. The Tagore story and the adaptation in Bihar.
Yeah. I must tell you, it happened so naturally that one of my friend's wife, she was a daughter of a coal miner. And she told me the story. Her father went through exactly what Harsh goes through in the film. And she had told me that in her entire school and college life, she had never worn the same dress. She had never repeated that dress. That was the kind of money they had. And overnight, it was all over. And, somewhere that story had stuck with me very strongly. So when I started, I wanted a prelude to the film. But, I just didn't want to get directly into the story. I wanted to enhance the character of Raicharan. So I wanted something before the story. So, and I thought that would be a fantastic background. And that's how the character of Harsh came in, and that's where I got it from.
And Tagore, have you read his published works, his poetry, or just this one-off story that really fascinated you?
I have read his short stories. I have read, but this was the story that fascinated me the most of the lot. In fact, this story I had I had wanted to do it even before Uttarayan. This was the first story I wanted to do, but everything comes with a date.
Correct.
So I guess it had to wait. For some reason, I didn't do it. I said, "वो देखते हैं बाद में."
चलिए देर आए दुरुस्त आए. Anukul, Sharad, welcome onto the show. I hope your family and you are safe and healthy, first and foremost.
All
safe.
Thank you. I hope the same for you.
Yeah, so far so good. Anukul, in a lot of ways, is a really fine character. A character with very few flaws, I noticed. I mean, he forgives easily. He loves completely. He has a great sense of responsibility. Is this one of the nicest guys you have played on screen, Sharad?
Yeah, that's changed for me, I think, because before that, because we shot the film 2 years back, and everybody, because of my voice, my personality, I think, giving me such kind of roles where, either you are the villain or are you a cop or something like that. So Bipin saw that in me because he shot my first film, and he saw a very naive guy in me, I think, that time, that I'm 15 years back. So I think he used that now, and I'm really thankful to Bipin because he gave me such opportunity to play a very simple, very honest guy, and a typical, what do you call it, family man kind of image. Yeah. So that was very, very freshening for me. And especially, I am like that only. I'm a very family guy. It was so playing that was a simple thing because at home I am like that. I don't go out much. I am mostly with my family apart from work. So this is my life only. I stay at home. I spend time with my wife and my friends and my family. So it was. I wanted to showcase that side of mine also to the audiences. And
lovely. When big, imposing, tough guys, play completely soft characters. I mean, I'm totally for it. It's a winner every step of the way. Flora, thank you very much. Like I said, off the mic, I want to bring it on the mic for providing beauty to the frame in the midst of us. 4 guys, the lovely pink roses, you in red. It's so beautiful. and thankfully, I don't have to talk about you being scary at all because the last time we spoke, after Stree, you had come into my studio, if you remember. You are that. but really, another character that you could really dig your teeth into, in terms of the nuance of it, because she's grappling with a sense of loss, which is terrible. She also doesn't trust Sharib's character. So this must be one of the most interesting characters you have done, simply for all these various shades. Talk about how it appealed to you.
Yes, actually, you're right, because it was very challenging. And I remember that there's a scene in the film where, finally Sharib comes back and he says, I'm sorry, I lost the child. He's gone. And like, I don't know what to say to you. And Bipin sir came to me that day, before he was to take that scene, and he said, Aaj wo scene hai, haan?" And I remember him telling me a story of, somebody he knows where they had lost their child, and how that moment, when somebody says, what do you say to such a person, right? Sab theek ho jayega, don't worry, kuch bhi nahi bol sakte na. So how would you react? And I think more than me, Bipin sir was also, oh, I want her to do it. I hope she's able to do it. And I was so nervous, but it was so amazing. And I'm really looking forward for people to see this, because it's something really different, like if I talk about Stree, it was different in its own way, but I think, to break down, to portray something very, very emotional, and that sense of loss, wo dikhana, it's it's very draining on you, and you have to really connect a thought in your head with an emotion. That's when you'll really be able to put it out. So it was, yes, very, very challenging, and I'm really excited for people to see that and see a different shade. I think it's one of my very different. It is one of its kind. I don't think I've played something like this before at all.
Nice. Sharib, you're a super actor. Everybody knows that by now. You have to be living under a rock to think otherwise. But you worked with some amazing child actors, boss, in this film. I mean, these kids are unbelievable. I'm talking about the Chota Wala. Then, he goes up a little. Then the other fellow. So, talk to me about these child actors. Fantastic, no? And you got that. You got those reactions from them, which obviously enhanced your performance also. Yeah.
All the child actors. We actually had 4 kids.
Fantastic.
We had 4 kids, and they were all amazing. And actually, it's also thanks to Bipin sir to extract, such great performances from them, because with working with child actors, it gets very unpredictable, because you don't know what they're going to behave, how they're going to behave, and what they're going to do next. So you have to keep the camera rolling, and sometimes you just have to wait. So there are lots of factors which go when when you're working with kids around, and it's a tough job. It's not easy. It's not a child's play.
Totally.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But you have a great time if you've got good kids and talented kids. And thankfully, all the 4 kids that we got and that we finalized, they were amazing.
Lovely. Bipin, get used to this question, because everybody's going to ask you this. I mean, national award winner, how much Uttarayan was appreciated, Evde Se Aabhar was appreciated. Why did it take you so long to make your first Hindi language film? I mean, it's a no-brainer. One would expect you to get there sooner. So you want to tell us the reasons for that?
Very simple. No, after my second film, Evde Se Aabhar, I took a break. I was back to advertising. I was happy doing advertising. So I had resigned to making only ads after that. Because both the films I had financed myself. And the scripts were very straight and simple. There was no question of making huge amounts of money. So after the second film, I said, let me get back to it. But after some years, that kida, it kind of came up, and I had to do. And then, I think around 3 to 4 years went in just getting the money, which eventually I had to do it myself. So that was the main reason for such a big.
Well, I hope you keep at it now. This can't be a one-off thing and you dive back into what you were doing. Sharad, how much has he changed since the last time you worked together? I mean, it's been a while.
So he's the same guy. The same innocent guy. Nothing has been changed. Because I still remember the glimpses of Uttarayan when I was working with him. He was exactly the same energy. A cool guy with a very simple mindset. and a brilliant thought of filmmaking. He is the same as you can see him right now. Just only the weight is a little issue. Otherwise, he's the same.
कम हो गया है.
Because,
Well, as long as he has friends like you, keep pushing him.
no,
on
I
that.
have like we've been speaking for last one and a half month. We got to know that film is releasing on ZEE5. So we were very happy. First of all, we shared a lot of thoughts, what were going around in our heads for last 1.5 years. So maybe I'm talking to someone. I'll talk to you. So my daughter.
Yeah.
So we've been talking to each other. One thing I obviously know about him, that he's very, very passionate about whatever he does, whether it's ad film. So he was telling me one incident how the creativity has been tarnished and killed in advertising also now. So he was very disappointed with that. So I just told him, Bipin sir, I have seen you, I have known you for the last 15 years. You are the same guy, but it's time to change a little bit. Maybe it will hurt you, but time is changing. You have to be with time. So I think he's changing his mindset. I think he'll take another 3-4 months, and hopefully we'll work together again next year. Sharib, touch
Yes. Inshallah.
Lovely. I'd like to see this combination again. But Sharad is right, Bipin. I mean, you look at advertising now, and you know there are these 20-something kids who come out of college and who think they know more than Bipin Nadkarni. But Bipin Nadkarni has to put up with that. That's par for the course. Kya kare? So very, very well described there. So professionally, personally, we know he's still the same, but professionally, with working in advertising over a series of years and things like that, advertising guys bring a special touch to their filmmaking. Do you find that when you work with Bipin? Sharad?
Yeah, obviously he has his own. I'll tell you, Bipin, because of his own nature, no? Because he's very emotional in terms of small things. Huh? He can be emotional on food also. It's like that. So in all his films, so you will not just see a visual treat. You will see a slight bit of emotion, and then somewhere he'll touch that chord. So that's the beauty of Bipin Nadkarni. He just not makes about it's a car commercial. He'll not just make a car, a good-looking car and car shots and everything. He'll add to a little bit of emotional story to it. So I think that's the beauty of Bipin Nadkarni. I think, and I requested him, please carry on now. He stopped advertising also a few months back. I don't want to do it. So I said, please, you have a different craft with you. Use it. You are one of the finest we have. So like in past, I was in touch with Ram Madhwani and Mahesh Mathai and all. So these are aces here. If you call them advertising, well, the best time of advertising.
Correct. Even Mehra was doing all these ad films with flicks. Yeah.
Prakash Mehra.
So these are the aces, and so the mindset, like Mahesh also does very less, Ram also does very less. So I told them, this is your, that 1 minute is yours. That's a film you make in 1 minute, and that's the most difficult thing to make, and you do it so beautifully. Please carry on, do it.
Beautiful. Yeah, so nice to hear your views. So nice. Flora, I love the art direction, the setting of this film. Was that a real Haveli? Was that recreated? Tell us a little about you filming in that location, if it was.
Oh, it was a treat, because we shot in a place called Bakamer Palace, which is a real palace, and the king is still alive, and he came and met us. And they have these huge pools, and everywhere you look, you just can't stop yourself from clicking pictures, because and they have these niche rugs which still have the lion ka face attached, and like one flat line. It is so beautiful. They have a piano. What have they not? I mean, it was just amazing, and we were all staying there and shooting at the same place, and it was just. What an experience! What an experience!
Lovely.
वो rugs हमारे रग में बस गई है.
ये आदमी सबसे पहले राइटर ही है. Well said. Sharib, I love, and this is a very telling comment, all migrant workers. I mean, technically, your character didn't travel across the country or continent, but I'm still saying, somebody who leaves their family, their wife, even at the extent of not starting a family, but devoting himself so selflessly to this parivar, this family, And I like the relationship that he has with Rasika,
Yeah.
and that must have been very interesting to you, both at narration time, both at reading time, because it's a relationship that carries on.
Yeah, totally. But in fact, this character, Raicharan, when Bipin sir offered me this part, I was completely blown away. See my goosebumps. when I read the script, I finished it in one go. This is the only script where I have finished in one go, and it is so beautifully written, so beautifully adapted into screenplay, feature screenplay, and I'm fortunate enough to be a part of such a beautiful film. And Bipin sir ko, I can't thank him enough for giving me Darbaan, and I'm it is the most challenging part I've done so far. So yeah, it is, and the character, there are so many shades to this character, so many relationships, there are so many different relationships he shares with the kids, with Anukul, with his wife. वो इतना प्यारा रिलेशनशिप है हम दोनों का कि वो जब नहीं है तभी उसको मतलब उसके साथ में हमेशा रहती है, जब वो मौजूद नहीं है तभी भी वो उसके साथ में है, तो वो उसके लिए हमेशा साथ में रही है, और वो इतना प्यारा उनका नोक-झोंक है. वो I really enjoyed working with Rasika. She's so effortless in whatever she does, and वो करते वक्त ऐसा लगता नहीं कि इन्होंने बहुत मेहनत की होगी इसके पीछे, लेकिन जब स्क्रीन पे लगता है तो ऐसा लगता है यार इन्होंने कितना कमाल काम किया है, इसके पीछे तो बहुत रिसर्च होगी और बहुत, but she's very effortless and very natural and
Sharad, what I liked about the performance as well as the writing was, you see, we see all dada, nana, nanis sitting alone in a room sometimes and having a conversation with what we think is the walls. But they're actually having a conversation perhaps with somebody who meant a lot to them, And some of these relationships are timeless. You can have a conversation with somebody who's not there. And I think that was very, beautifully done. Very nicely done.
Thanks to Bipin sir again.
So Bipin, from start to finish, how long did this project take you? How long did Darbaan take you?
We started shooting in 2015.
May end. Yeah.
We
have shot for 34 days in 3 years.
Spread out over 3 years. Yeah.
3 years, yeah.
And
how many locations, Bipin?
Sorry?
How many locations? How many states?
How many states?
We've shot in Sikkim, in Hawaii, in Gujarat, in Bombay, in Dhanbad, all across.
You actually went to the coal mines, to shoot all the coal mines, the blowing up of the coal mines and all. Wow. Because it was reminded me of Kala Patthar and all these classic films.
I visited Vasaipur for the research part of the first section. So it was great fun. I went to Vasaipur and I met the coal miners over there. Nice. It was,
Hrishi, this is Bipin, How much he goes inside the content and how.
Yeah, and considering that's how it starts off, and then the film goes into another direction.
Yeah.
So technically, the coal mine, he could have got away not meeting them, but nice.
It was, and I must tell you that
he could have used a stock shot also,
He could have, correct.
When I asked them what it was, what happened that day, during that time when it was nationalized, and you'll not believe that man, he started crying. कि वो दिन क्या हुआ जब when the government nationalized, उसके पास एक ही था coal mine, उसकी, and it was like, I mean, I didn't expect that sort of a reaction, but these are some of the interesting things.
Yeah, we always look at legislation, that how the land was taken away from them, equitable distribution of income, but sometimes you need to look at the other side. You know what I mean? Because it's not been easy, especially post-partition. Of course, the coal mines happened in 71, but a series of legislations as far as land was concerned, coal was concerned, affected a lot of parties. And even though your film is fundamentally a relationship film, I'm glad that it touched upon that. Yeah. Guys, interviews should never be too long so that the guests get bored. So I'm going to close it down soon.
It's always nice to hear your voice here.
So nice of you to say that, Sharad. I'm wonderful of you.
Damal.
So I'm going to sign off with just getting a reaction from each one of you. Lockdown has not been easy for a lot of us, but a lot of us seem to have kept ourselves busy. I mean, friends are learning new software. Somebody's learned something to cook, things like that. One skill, Flora, that you picked up during lockdown, one skill, Sharib, one skill, Sharad, and one skill, Bipin, during this whole phase. I'm sure you've all now started getting back to filming and shooting, but that absolute lockdown phase at home. Flora, let's start with you.
Gardening. I have fallen in love with plants. I always wanted to have plants in my house, and my mom used to say, "Nahi yaar, if you're going to be out on a shoot, kaun dekhega?" This was my chance, and I have gone crazy. I've been taking cuttings from, just instead of going to the nursery and getting plants, I also get cuttings home and put them in water, let the roots grow out, and then pot them. It is amazing.
Lovely. What
That's the
fun.
best thing that I've done.
Yeah, home gardening. Sharib.
Cooking. पहली बार मैंने जिंदगी में पहली बार I cooked for the first time during lockdown, and yeah, I want to cook more now.
So what if you call Sharad and Flora and Bipin home? What is that foodie resistance dish that you will make?
फिलहाल तो आलू की सब्जी और पूरी बनाऊंगा.
Aloo puri, good. So aloo puri is you're great at that. Superb.
Yes.
Well done. Bipin, any skill
For
you
me,
picked
it
up?
was cooking. Cooking was one, and the other skill was just sitting in silence.
Nice. Important, yeah? Important.
Very important.
Very important.
Sounds of silence, yeah. You just get caught up
कुछ है
in
नहीं
this.
करना कुछ है नहीं, so it's good to just sit and.
Nice. Sharad.
I stayed as a bachelor for a long time, so cooking and all was like already I knew. So apart from baking and guitar, a little bit of guitar, not the pro, but a little bit of string operation. The most important thing which I learned, a lesson basically, it's patience.
Yeah.
I'm a workaholic.
That's a skill.
I
That's
want
a
to run
skill.
around. I want to always be busy. And if you made sit at home, the only thing you can learn is patience. How to be patient, and I think that is helping me a lot.
Beautiful, beautiful. Guys, thank you very much for a beautiful cinematic experience. I thoroughly
Thank
loved
you so
Darbaan.
much.
All of you who are
Yoo-hoo.
watching, listening, please, ZEE5 Premium, go and support this gem of a film. Have a
you.
good, safe, healthy day, and till I see you guys again. Bye, Sharad. Bye, Flora.
You,
Bye,
Rishi.
Bipin.
Rishi,
Bye,
bye.
bye.
See you.
Thank you. Bye.
Please watch
Bye.
Darbaan.
Bye. Bye.